Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we journeying deep into the jungles of central Vietnam to uncover the secrets of a truly magical place, the Mysan Sanctuary. Imagine wandering through a forgotten city of red brick temples, half swallowed by nature, where ancient kings once worshipped powerful gods. This isn't a scene from a movie. This is Mysan, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that tells the story of a lost kingdom and its incredible spiritual legacy. So, grab your explorer's hat and let's step back in time to discover the rise and fall of this magnificent holy land. Our story begins over 1,600 years ago with the emergence of the Champa Kingdom. The Cham people were master seafarers and traders who controlled the vital maritime spice routes connecting China, India, and the Indonesian islands. Influenced by their extensive contact with India, they adopted Hinduism, particularly the worship of the god Shiva, the destroyer and transformer. It was here, in this secluded valley, surrounded by mountains, that the Cham kings decided to build their most important religious center. Why this specific spot? The location was chosen for its strategic and spiritual significance. Shielded by a ring of mountains, it was a natural fortress. The valley also formed a natural basin, with a sacred stream running through it, making it the perfect place to connect with the divine. The first temples of Mysan were built in the 4th century, likely out of wood. Unfortunately, a massive fire destroyed these early structures a couple of centuries later, but this tragedy paved the way for something even more spectacular. Starting in the 7th century, the Cham kings began rebuilding Mysan, this time using durable, fired red bricks and stone pillars. This marked the beginning of Mysan's golden age, which would last for hundreds of years. Each successive king would add to the sanctuary, building new towers and temples to honor Shiva and to commemorate their own reigns and military victories. Mysan wasn't just a place of worship. It was a political statement, a symbol of the king's power and his divine connection. It was the spiritual heart of the entire Champa kingdom. One of the greatest mysteries of Mysan is how the Cham people actually built these incredible structures. If you look closely at the temple towers, you'll notice the bricks are fitted together so perfectly that you can barely see the mortar. For decades, archaeologists and engineers were stumped. How did they achieve this seamless construction? One popular theory is that they used a type of resin from a local tree to bind the bricks. Another fascinating idea is that they may have stacked the bricks when they were still partially soft and then fired the entire tower as a single, massive kill. This would have fused the bricks together, creating the strong, nearly invisible bond we see today. The intricate sandstone carvings of gods, mythical creatures, and scenes from Hindu epics are another marvel, showcasing the incredible skill of Cham artisans. Mysan is not just one temple. It's a complex of over 70 structures, organized into several distinct groups, labeled by archaeologists with letters like A, B, C, and D. Each group typically features a main sanctuary, called a Kalan, which housed a sacred lingam, a symbolic representation of Shiva. These towers are characterized by their pyramid-like roofs and intricate carvings. Surrounding the main tower were smaller temples, pavilions, and storerooms. Group B is one of the oldest and most important clusters, containing some of the finest examples of Cham architecture and sculpture. Walking through these different groups is like reading a history book written in stone and brick, with each style reflecting the artistic and religious trends of its time. The decline of Mysan began around the 13th century. The Champa kingdom found itself squeezed between two powerful and expanding neighbors, the Dai Viet from the north and the Champa Empire from the west. Constant wars and shifting political alliances weakened the Champa, and they gradually lost territory. As the kingdom shrank, the capital was moved further south, and the royal patronage of Mysan dwindled. The sanctuary, once the vibrant spiritual center of a powerful maritime empire, was slowly abandoned. The jungle, always waiting at the edges, began to reclaim the temples. For over 400 years, Mysan lay forgotten by the outside world, its magnificent towers hidden beneath a thick blanket of tropical vegetation, known only to the few local people who lived in the area. The sanctuary was dramatically rediscovered in 1898 by a group of French scholars. It was a monumental discovery, like finding a lost city. The French immediately recognized its immense historical and artistic value and began the painstaking work of documenting and studying the site. They cleared the jungle overgrowth, cataloged the temples, and translated the ancient Sanskrit inscriptions found on stone steles. These inscriptions were a gold mine of information, providing details about the Cham kings, their religious beliefs, and the history of the sanctuary itself. It was through their efforts that the world began to understand the significance of the Champa civilization and its incredible artistic achievements at my son. But the story of my son took another tragic turn in the 20th century. During the Vietnam War, this quiet, secluded valley became a battleground. The Viet Cong used the dense jungle and the ancient ruins as a well-hidden base. In response, the area was subjected to intense bombing campaigns. In just 1 week in August 1969, a series of B-52 carpet bombing raids devastated the site. The most beautiful and complete temple group, Group Auno, was reduced to a pile of rubble. Craters from the bombs are still visible today, serving as a heartbreaking reminder of this modern destruction. It's a stark and powerful contrast, seeing the scars of 20th century warfare carved into a landscape of 10th century temples. After the war ended, efforts to preserve and restore what was left of my son began, but it was a slow and difficult process. The site had suffered from centuries of neglect and the ravages of war. In 1999, my son was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, bringing in much-needed international attention and funding for its conservation. Today, teams of Vietnamese and international experts are working together to stabilize the remaining structures, piece together fallen towers, and protect the site from the effects of weather and tourism. It's a delicate balancing act, trying to restore the temples without losing their ancient, atmospheric charm. The work is ongoing, a continuous effort to save this precious piece of human history for future generations. So, what makes a visit to my son so special today? It's the unique atmosphere. Unlike the sprawling and crowded Angkor Wat, my son feels more intimate, more mysterious. Walking along the winding paths, you can hear the sounds of the jungle, see butterflies dancing over the brick ruins, and feel a profound sense of peace and history. You can touch the warm bricks, trace the outlines of ancient carvings, and imagine the ceremonies that took place here 1,000 years ago. It's a place that invites quiet reflection. It's a powerful testament to the creativity and faith of the Cham people, and a solemn memorial to the destructive forces of time and war. It truly is one of Southeast Asia's most enchanting and moving historical sites. And that's the incredible story of the Myson Sanctuary. From a divine center of a powerful kingdom to a forgotten ruin in the jungle, and now a treasured World Heritage Site rising from the ashes of war. It's a place of beauty, mystery, and resilience. If you ever find yourself in central Vietnam, a trip to my son is an absolute must. It is an experience that will stay with you long after you've left its sacred grounds. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more adventures into history, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.